wanted to talk about the ABS balls strike system. So we know Wells has been using it a lot. Was some significance that was coming out that the Yankees were really testing it out. And that this is the important testing phase for the
Yeah.
ABS is during spring training. We see the Yankees testing it. You want that to happen. You want them to overuse it. Who cares? The challenge
Hmm.
is going out. I think it's going to greatly benefit the season. I did see an interesting clip that was piqued my interest. Was It was, I forget the exact game. I don't think it may have been a Yankee game. I think it was a different spring training game where it was the ABS system truly, when you talk about splitting hairs,
Hmm.
does split hairs. If the ball, and it looked like a strike, but as it came up on the ABS system, it was right outside the zone. And so
Just like tennis, baby.
I think it's at large, I think ABS is going to really benefit baseball. And I also think there's going to be somewhat of a strategy for teams to know when to use their challenges, maybe not be as willy nilly about when they're going to use it and be smart about it if they want to save them late in games. And there's going to be a lot of emotion associated with it. We know that the Yankees are one of the most outwardly spoken teams about bad strike three calls and just strike
Hmm.
calls in general and everything. So I think it's going to be an interesting thing to see how they balance emotions of when to use the challenges because you only get two a game. As long as you're getting them right, you can retain your challenges. But it's going to be interesting to see that. And I think there's also going to be moments, as I said, with splitting hairs that fans are going to be pissed off where it appears like a strike in the zone, but now, as you said, that tennis view of the ball,
Yeah.
nope, is right outside the zone. So I think that's something to be a little prepared for. But I think it's good for baseball.
No, I think it's very good, and I think we're kind of seeing how the Yankees are going to use it. I think there was a Boone. I don't remember if it was a Boone quote I heard, or if he was on the fan, or what it was. But he talked about they're not going to save any of them virtually. Like we are going to use them and be aggressive from the jump. And I think he virtually cited some stats in the last couple of years of AAA it being used or whatever, where he said like 70% of teams that try and save them like don't end up using them because that opportunity doesn't arise like as much late in games. So virtually seems like they're going to get on them early. Um, you know, I think we'll see more like who is allowed to challenge, you know, kind of unwillingly and who's not. I think
Mhm.
will be the biggest
The
thing.
Yankees will be very willing. There's
Like what
sometimes.
players I mean though. Like
Oh, oh.
does Volpe get the same leeway as Judge? I hope not. you know?
hmm that's a good point. That's a good point. I do think the Yankees sometimes irritate me slightly when they're arguing strike three calls. So I know that they're going to be very. They like to talk about it. So I think
And they
that
like to be right. Yeah.
they like to be right about it. So this is
Yeah.
gonna truly give truly give us as fans, truly give the umpires and the Yankees an idea that's going to separate the truth from the falses. So I think it's a good
Yeah.
thing for baseball, man. I think it's
I
good.
like it that it gives us some closure on every pitch too.
Yeah,
You're like, all right, well, no, we're not going to end on this note, or if I have a challenge and there's this big
but
spot on, you know, you get an answer,
but
assuming
imagine
you have your challenges.
it's going to be somewhat like football, though. Imagine they waste their challenge on a strike. Like it could be they only have one of their challenges left. Maybe it's say the third, fourth, or fifth inning, and they use it on a call that maybe emotionally they're not all there. They're saying, "Oh,
Yep.
that wasn't a strike." Turns out to be a strike, and then there's a later call in the game where, ooh, could have used that challenge. So I
Wish you
think
had it. Yeah.
I think it's going to be awesome, man. I
I
really
like it
do.
because that's more strategy. It
Yeah,
shouldn't be like, all right, let's
it's like
double check
football.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's
I think
good.
it'll work very well. Yeah.